Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I'm Prince Office Bloke Dave.
Absolute amateur. I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm just the spare.
Spare part.
Spare.
Yeah, we are the Office Blokes. We like to react to videos on the internet and sometimes talk about topical things.
We do.
Yeah.
Very topical.
Totally tropical.
Yeah.
So
I used to love Lilt, I did. That's one of the best fizzy drinks going.
What are you on about?
Lilt.
Who said Lil?
You did.
Did I?
I said totally tropical.
I don't remember saying Lil.
What did you say then?
I said in it.
I have to play that
It
one
was
back.
Got lilt on the brain. So Prince Harry's book, I mean, we were talking about this before, Mike, weren't we? That has allegedly gone on sale.
Do you know what it's called?
Spare.
Spare.
Yeah.
Just making sure you got it.
Yeah, it's about. I thought it was about bowling originally.
Yeah.
But yeah, allegedly it went on sale early in a shop in Spain. By mistake.
Bull.
And I mentioned that to Mike, and Mike went, "Nah."
Nothing happens by mistake.
No, that's well premeditated. Because the news, I mean, it'd be on the news anyway. But the fact that it's been leaked, supposedly leaked, and it's by mistake gone on sale, you know, it's been headline news everywhere. So
yeah,
bullshit.
It's
it's
headline news on every channel over here.
Yeah.
This.
Well, this is CBS, so that's in the States as well.
Yeah, I know. He's a big player in the States now, isn't he? Now he's married to an American.
Yeah. He'll fizzle out. They both will, I think. It seems like, and I've only heard sort of anecdotally or like news headlines and things like that, what's actually been said.
Yeah.
Are you kind of like torn here between like, want to do the right thing, but he's also a ginger? So you've got to sort of like stick up for your own.
We don't have to,
stick up for the minorities.
Like the brotherhood of the gingers.
It may surprise you to learn that not all gingers like all gingers. You have to be very careful about That's why I took a pause.
I mean, Scary Spice.
She wasn't ginger, Mike. No. Do you want to elaborate on that? Ginger Spice, funnily enough.
Ginger Spice was the ginger one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Right then.
I think I should just go home.
I think you should.
Talk about being a spare.
Actually, if you delve into what you just said there, it's pretty sketchy. Anyway, right, what Prince Harry's new book could mean for the royal family. I looked for just any news sort of report. There's a BBC one that was about 15 minutes that I sacked off. But let's just go for this before it gets any worse.
To try to put all of this in perspective, we are joined by Roya Nika, royal editor of the Sunday Times and a CBS News contributor. Good morning. Roya, so in the memoir, Prince Harry shares some very personal details, none of which paint his father, the king, or his brother, the future king, in a good light. What do you believe is his motivation for sharing all of this?
I mean, that is the massive question that no one can quite understand at the moment. I think, part of it from, the clips that we've heard from Harry in those interviews with the Anderson Cooper interview coming up as well, is he seems almost unburdened, from the restrictions of being in the royal family. He sees this as now his first opportunity to really speak freely. But in terms of motivation, I think, from what I can sort of glean and unpick, he is very keen for the world to know that he felt he had a very, very rough deal inside the royal family, particularly towards the end. But actually, this notion of being the spare is something that he's felt ever since he was very young. I mean, the detail about him having a smaller part of a bedroom at Balmoral Castle than William, it really has...
A smaller bedroom.
Try living in poverty in Benchill, you ginger prick. Hey, see how that
Smaller
works out for you.
At Balmoral.
As a ginger,
Gee, come on.
As a ginger, I'll give you a pass with that one. I'll allow it in this context. My bedroom wasn't big enough in my castle.
I know, yeah.
Tiny violin.
This guy lives in a fucking different planet to me.
Jesus
like we said on previous videos, we used to think he was more one of us than any of the royals as well. More one of the lads and everything. Everyone used to like him for that, didn't they?
Yeah, big time.
He just seems to be going against everything that he's sort of like built, the reputation that he's built up about himself.
He only had 4 servants and William had 5.
Yeah.
So he's a bit upset.
Yeah.
Come on, mate.
Mate, you were never going to be king.
And that's just the constitution.
That's why you get the littler room. It was probably about 48,000 square foot. You dickhead.
You get the prince-sized bedroom.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll have the king size.
Yeah, exactly.
I used to get the smaller room when I was a kid because I was the youngest. That's what you
share.
get. You had to get the bunk bed because you're the youngest. Get on the bunk bed.
On the bottom, like
Exactly.
We weren't allowed nowhere near the top.
We got a loft conversion built when I was about 10 and my brother was about 12 and a half. And stupidly in my mind, I didn't realise that I wasn't in contention to fight for that room. So when it was done, it was like, so who's going to get it? And it's like, he's going to get it. He's older than you.
Yeah, you go in his room.
Yeah. Well, exactly, we shared a room up until that point.
Yeah.
It's like the older one gets it.
Exactly.
That's annoyed me, that comment.
Has been, been there right from the very start. And I think, when you try and unpick the motivation, it's just that he has felt very, very slighted all his life and perhaps undervalued as the spare.
Roya.
Mate, I'm going to put this out there, right? I grew up on a council estate, right? With two older brothers, right?
Yeah.
Trust me, he doesn't know what it's like being the spare. Right?
I had two older brothers and an older sister.
Right. My parents used to go to the pub without even putting us to bed, forgot we were there.
Hey? Oh.
Right?
Yeah. I think, there's loads of kids out there where there's like a 10, 12-year age gap. And I know people who have got older siblings that are 2 or 3 older siblings, 12 years ahead of them. They were blatantly an accident.
Yeah.
And they are literally a spare. They came along, they were a happy surprise.
Yeah.
And they're like that.
Yeah.
What he's saying is just nonsense.
Yeah, but I grew up, like I say, 2 older brothers in a small house where we had to share rooms and stuff like that. And trust me, I didn't even have this is the truth, right? We had a dining table. There wasn't enough room for me at the table. I had to sit next to the sink. Have my dinner.
I still do.
Right? So I swear to God, I used to sit next to the sink and
Helmet
then
on,
and then it'd look like, and if someone got up, if someone got up to finish, I used to carry my plate to the table and sit at the table with the rest of the family.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's
should
being a
write a
spare.
book. You should write a
Not being
book.
this dickhead. He doesn't know the half.
You should write a book about it.
All right.
Office bloke Daz spare, just looking sad in black and white.
Harry has said he wants his father and his brother back. What are you hearing from your sources about whether there's any appetite for reconciliation, especially after this book?
It's interesting. That's something that I picked up on actually before Christmas, that Harry wanted a summit and he wants accountability and he wants to sit down with the family. The very, very tricky thing from the family's perspective is, as we've seen in the last few weeks with the Netflix documentary and now with this tell-all book, every small personal detail of, the most intimate conversations, the most intimate scenarios, that bust up with William, is being reported in excruciating detail, and that is going to obviously put the royal family on real guard as to how on earth they could ever sit down and have a summit or speak to Harry with the fear that everything they say is going to be reported. So there is that big stumbling block there. But in terms of wanting a reconciliation, Charles, as people have consistently briefed, he loves his son, the door is always open, they know where the king lives.
Yeah. Yeah, Roy.
It's a bit like the Office Junior calling, wanting accountability for the board of directors, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're not getting it, mate.
No, it's not. Is it?
Do one.
But exactly the point. How are they going to sit down with him now and say, "Listen, what load of bullshit that was? What you talk about?"
Yeah.
Next
And he's
thing,
gonna go back,
it's in the news.
Well,
And he said to me, "What a load of bullshit it was." And parts, they're not gonna, how can they trust him?
He also knows that they won't respond. So he can say practically what he wants.
Yeah.
And William or the king aren't going to turn around and say, actually, and then tweet out their rebuttal.
Yeah, and
way.
And bring out their side of the story, because that probably
It's just
isn't going to happen.
shit-slinging.
But he knows that as well.
There was a funny moment in the book that I heard about where they go for a walk with Charles and Harry. And Charles says to Harry, "It might not even be your dad. Something that might not even be your real father."
Oh, shit.
When I read that bit, I was laughing.
Yeah, no one spotted that one before.
Yeah, I mean, even if they make up and they can all, in decades ahead, look back at this and say that was crazy, it's still going to be a business relationship from now on, isn't it? Like, the way they'll have to talk to him is
it's going to be pretty guarded, isn't it? And
pre-approved.
yeah.
However you speak to your son from now on, if he's your son or your brother, you've got to be willing to have published in the press for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So you've just got to talk to him in a really dull, business-like way.
You can't have a really open relationship with each other now, can they, after this? Because, I mean, they're just going to think it's just going to go in a
I
book.
think he'll get stripped of his titles, and he'll be done. He just move into regular society, and he's 58,000 square foot house that no one else can afford on the planet.
With his 300 million from Netflix.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll be thinking, maybe there's other stuff that he could come out with, so we don't want to sort of like shake the hornet's nest with a big stick or anything?
It's muddied the waters now, though. He's come out with too much. Yeah. So now if there is a big revelation, what is it going to be in his next book?
He's also
and his next Netflix.
He also mentioned he's killed 25 Taliban people.
Yeah, that's right.
From a helicopter that he was flying in, which is that what's that? What's that? Do you want a medal?
Probably has got one. You know, you don't need to go into details like that.
No, you don't. That's too personal. That.
Yeah. As he talked about the fact that he's used racial slurs on camera, dressed as a Nazi at one point.
Yeah. He said that wasn't him that did that.
But dressed as a Nazi?
He said he was told to do it by Kate and William.
What?
Yep.
His older brother said, "Wouldn't it be funny if you were a Nazi?"
He was told to.
How old was he? That's what he says.
At the time.
That's what he says.
Piss off.
Was it university at the time?
And he's took cocaine.
Yeah, of course he has.
Yeah, and he lost his virginity to a woman behind a pub, in a grassy field behind a pub. That woman was allegedly what's her name? Hugh Grant's ex-missus, the fit one.
Not sure.
Hugh Grant. His ex-missus.
I know who Hugh Grant is, but I don't know who.
Name escapes me. I know. Liz Hurley.
Liz Hurley. Yeah,
Allegedly.
She's come out and said it's not her, but that was the
oh my God.
Alleged person.
But the idea of we're all thinking of losing your virginity behind a pub is a complete different thing. Yeah. It's not going to be the types of pubs we drink in.
No.
I think he meant the Michelin 5-star restaurant, didn't he?
You prick yourself in the arse with a heroin needle, a used heroin needle.
He probably had a butler waiting to fluff him.
You only get one family, so we do hope they reconcile. I am curious, we've got Harry here speaking in the form of a very long book and all of these TV interviews. Will the palace, in some formal way, sit down, grant an interview, talk about things from their perspective?
I don't think we'll have someone from the palace actually sitting down and giving an interview, but I think they will, although we've seen all the leaks in the last couple of days, they will want to sit down themselves with the actual book when it's published on Tuesday, evaluate all of it in context, and then potentially, possibly, if we were to hear anything from them, I think it would be something along the lines of that very famous now statement from the Queen after Oprah, recollections may vary, but we're not going to get someone, I don't think, from the palace sitting down and unpicking all of this and going on camera in the way that we've seen Harry do.
All right, Royanika, thank you so much. We hope there's a good conclusion here. And a reminder, you could see Prince Harry's 60 Minutes interview with Anderson Cooper this Sunday night right here on CBS. I will be watching.
Me too.
To try to...
He's done a great job just fucking getting out of the limelight, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Well,
what he wanted.
A lot of his thing was about getting out of the limelight and privacy, wasn't it? But he's bringing things out here that were private with him and his family, with his father and his brother.
Yeah.
That were really private things, but then he's bringing that out. So
take the royal family.
I don't get that bit.
Take the royal family aspects out of the way with Harry, right?
Yeah.
If you wrote a book tomorrow criticising your brother and your dad,
yeah,
what would happen?
It's a dickhead move.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be smoking cigars with him at Christmas, that's for sure.
No, and no one would be asked either, because it was very, certainly.
What do you mean no one would be asked? No. I'd sell at least 15 copies.
I didn't mean that. And if you bought all of them.
Ouch. I've been working on my memoirs for 6 months now.
Oh, mate.
Spare tyre.
Ooh. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, no. It's gone out of control. I forgot what we're saying now.
Anyway. We'll just leave it there. It doesn't matter. I might just leave it on the insult. I will say I sympathised with Harry at the beginning, because I've been in a relationship that I think is how his relationship is operating.
Yep.
I feel like I've been in a very similar situation to what we speculate he's in.
Yep.
And I see how you get caught up in it, and you're trying to do the right thing by too many people, and you kind of get muddled.
Yeah.
I used to sympathise with him until he started doing all this, and now he's just he's pushed it too far.
He's turned his family, hasn't he?
I want my family back, but I'm going to write a book exposing intimate conversations and all.
Yeah. A part of it was, what I was trying to get at before was him. He had an argument with his brother, and we allegedly pushed him over, and this, that, and the other. But that's not a particular story at all, is it? I mean, can you imagine you probably had a few run-ins with your brothers over the years, which is a bit worse than a bit of a push.
Yeah, it was
I know I did.
Swords, knives, all kinds of darts.
Yeah. In that sense, that he's trying to embellish it and make it out to be like a huge thing. He fell over and did he hurt his back or something? Did he say?
Yeah, hurt my back.
My mate sent me a message. He's in the army. And he said the worst part about the book, he's admitting he got pushed over by someone from the RAF.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's just, he's very quickly slipping into being a professional victim.
Yeah.
That's
I know
what it
this
seems
might
like.
sound that this is one-sided and we're just having a go at him, but
his book's one-sided, allegedly.
That's pretty much what he's doing at the moment. I think he knows that the royal family, like the lady said on the interview, they won't come out with someone sat down and say, well, this is wrong, that's wrong, we're not sure about that. They just won't do it.
When did his book officially come out? I thought it was yesterday.
I think it said Tuesday on the report there, didn't it? So
Thursday.
I'd love it if
it sounded like Tuesday, but
I'd love it if William just turned around and said, "Yeah, I did push you over. Wish you did more, you gimp."
Yeah, it's like your uncle.
Let's add an alleged there.
Allegedly,
it's not even alleged. No one's alleging that.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Just about Harry. We're not talking about anyone else in part of his family. Just talking about him.
Would you buy my book?
Would you buy Dave's book?
Please buy my book.
And his spare tire, a good title.
I'm keeping that for a bit.
Anyway, catch you on the next one.
Cheers. Guys.